Welcome back, everybody. This is the final stage of finishing out the Takedown fighter that I'm doing in a collaboration with Bert. So the final stage is just finishing the fittings, which is why I posted the previous video on color case hardening, because I'm going to be color case hardening the fittings, which is really just the guard and the pommel nut. It's a mild steel that is used a lot of times with color case hardening. It's pretty self-explanatory. I kind of showed the process of doing it. But basically you're packing something that doesn't have a whole lot of carbon in it. A lot of times with knife steels, you have around 0.1%. It might be a little bit less or a little bit more, but that is what creates a high carbon steel and allows it to harden up when you quench it in oil. With low carbon steel, I think it's below 0.5 or less, is mild steel, which is a very low carbon steel, and that doesn't allow it to harden up nearly at all. So doing color case hardening is basically packing more carbon into the surface of the steel and then quenching it in water so that it traps all that carbon in the outside and becomes extremely hard. Harder than 65 Rockwell, something like 70 Rockwell, I think, is what I've been told. Probably varies. So the carbon that we're using is charcoal and bone charcoal. Bone powder charcoal, I got this online. It was not super hard to find. I got a bunch of it because I want to be able to do it more than just in the one time. And then I've crushed a bunch of briquettes, charcoal briquettes. This is just hickory charcoal, and it seemed to work pretty good. So you pack that into a metal container. You do about 1 to 3, I think, ratio. So 1 part bone powder charcoal, and then 3 parts wood charcoal. And you pack it around this inside a metal box, which I welded together. It's not pretty, but it works. And you heat it up to 1400 degrees and you hold it there for about an hour and 40 minutes. And that is enough time to pack the carbon into the steel. When it's up to temperature, it's been in there long enough, you pull it out and dunk it in aerated water. So you want air going through the water. So I got a metal bucket with a basket kind of thing inside it to catch the parts, and then I pumped air through the bottom, and so when I dump the contents in there, it's being churned up, and so it worked really well. So the results are really beautiful. It's beautiful colors. I think on one side I had it covered with the bone charcoal and the other side wasn't, and so it got different results on one side than the other. And so this time I'm going to try and make it a little bit more homogeneous and see what happens. Get a little more even result on these pieces. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pack up that metal box with these and some charcoal. This is how I have been creating wood charcoal powder. Beautiful. All right, so again, we're going to start with, I learned this from, what was it, Midway USA. They have a video on this. It's a good video, very simple. This is a very simple process in general. I don't like that charcoal powder getting everywhere, so. Okay, this time I'm putting a base layer of charcoal with some good powdering of bone in there. I'm going to stir that up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and nestle these in. Put those in kind of on their side. I'm going to just kind of sprinkle some of this bone charcoal over top. I'm going to layer this in. Layer some more bone in. I'm going to use a hammer, kind of settle things as we go. All right. That's good. Now we're going to put the top on and wait for the oven to get heated up. pretty interesting.
You can put bubbler in there?
Yeah, just blow air through the water, and that's you're supposed to do that. I don't know why. I guess just because it agitates the water.
Yeah. Love it. All your metal pieces come out?
All right. This is the reveal. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, neat. Filter out my voice, right?
Well, it's okay if there's a little... It's my dad in the background, y'all.
That looks cool.
Oh, that's so cool. It's really neat. It's really just like you get what you get, and I kind of like that kind of process because you're just surrendering to the to what happens. You're surrendering to whatever happens.
In the fire. You're participating with the fire.
That's right. All right, so I've oiled this. I just put some WD-40 on it, and that just helps kind of seal the metal. And this is actually now very hard on the outside, so pretty dang cool. All right, so let's see if this still fits. Hopefully so. If it doesn't fit, we're gonna have to use diamond files probably. Excuse the mess. We'll have to use diamond files probably to get it to fit up again. Oh, it's definitely tighter. Yeah, it's definitely tighter. Oh, but it fits. You may need a little extra persuasion. And I think the shoulders are actually sitting pretty nice on there. Oh yeah, that looks really cool. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. So again, everything grows and expands when you color case harden, and it still happened even with this 8620, but it was minimal, and I let enough room in the guard for it to grow, and now it just like perfectly fits, seems like. Oh my gosh. Oh man, I love that. That is so cool. And that it matches the gray on the guard. Alright, there we have it. It's all finished up. Now we just need to make a sheath for it, but that's going to be another video. That's a whole process of its own. Oh man, I love this. It's so cool, and it just creates just such a unique look that's so individual to each piece. Every piece that's color case hardened like this is completely unique. It's completely different than the next. So I'm in love with it. I think it's beautiful. All credit where credit's due. The first person I saw to do this on a knife, I'm not certain that he's the only person, but the first person I've seen is Bert Foster, the guy I'm doing this with, the guy who taught me a lot about knife making. He is the first person I saw to do this type of finish on his guards or bolsters for his knives. And obviously it's an old technique that gunsmiths have used throughout the years, but it is a very unique thing to knife making. And that's part of why I wanted to use it, because he is one of the few that I've seen to do it. And so it kind of adds another piece of that collaborative element where he came up with this idea. So this is him. This is part of his creative eye. And then I also wanted to learn how to do it, so I actually suggested we do that. He found out about the 8620, which is really cool. So both of the barrel nut and the guard are made from 8620. African Blackwood, we're both going to use African Blackwood. And then the blade steel is something we made together, obviously. The first part of this series was making the steel with Bert. Obviously the second part, forging the blade and getting it ground and heat treated and stuff. And then, you know, I think I did a couple parts making the handles. Anyway, can't wait to see what Bert makes. It's been a while since we started this, and we've both had a lot of stuff going on, so he hasn't been able to get it finished up yet. But I'm excited. We're all waiting with bated breath to see what he comes up with. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. We all know it. It's going to be awesome. It's going to blow this out of the water. So I'm excited because the project idea was his idea of doing a collaborative work, but making it a set rather than one knife. And that way we can both exercise our creativity we can collaborate on the materials and exercise our creativity with the blade shape and handle type and all of that. So it's gonna be super fun to see what he comes up with. And until then, check out some of my other videos and make sure you subscribe and like this video if you liked it. Thanks y'all, see you on the next one.